I streamed the entirety of Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails because apparently I hate myself. It was super bad, but in a laughable way. Sure, it was miserable to play, but coming across bugs like this one made it kinda worth it. Not to mention the ridiculous plot, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails is a 2009 first person shooter zombie Vietnam game, which on paper sounds kind of cool. Jacob's Ladder worked well as a scary Vietnam movie, even though that's not a zombie flick. But this is a sequel to a fairly standard Vietnam third person shooter. Why not name it something new? The only thing in Blood Trails related to Nam 67 is the setting and one character. I feel like the character was shoehorned in so they could say it was an actual sequel. Blood Trails was developed by Rebellion, who has a rocky track record to begin with. It was published by IDOS, the same people who brought us 25 to life. This game is not available digitally anymore. I assume it's due to licensing because of the Leonard Skinner song during the credits. So the only way you can play this game legally is with a CD-ROM. Thankfully, it's pretty cheap. It worked in Windows 10 just fine. Kind of surprised by this because it does have secure ROM DRM. Anyway, let's talk about the plot. I'm gonna say spoiler alert for like the whole video, as if you care. But I mean, come on. It's Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails. I'm not going to keep anything a secret. There's nothing in this game that's worth you going out and getting this game and playing it for yourself, to see it for yourself. It just isn't worth it. The plot is just so stupid that I have to recap it. The game opens up to a stereotypical war is hell type loading screen. Fall of 69 and I'm gonna bird into Nam, drafted like the rest of these grunts. We messed up this war and lost many kids and now it's my turn. It's super lame. Each level starts out with this kind of thing, and the writing is terrible. It's like the developers played Call of Duty, saw the quotes at those loading screens, and felt the need to recreate them by having the main character sound more angsty than authentic. In Apocalypse Now, Kilgore sang,
"Someday this war's gonna end.
has more of a punch than the entirety of this game. The way his face immediately turns sad and how there's a little bit of silence afterwards is so incredible. It opens the door to all kinds of interpretation and deep meaning. I could list more examples like the how you gonna act scene in Hamburger Hill, but I think you get the point. Subtlety. Sometimes it says more to say less. Normally I wouldn't nitpick this hard over some video game's angst, but Blood Trails hammers this kind of tone the entire time, while you got some of the most cheeseball moments happening. I'm trying to compare it to better media, so you get why it's so lame. Past the loading screen, we get to hear our main character introduce the situation.
Didn't know why they'd seconded me to some psycho nursemaid named Griffin. All I knew at that moment was those hellish sounds. The sounds from that room made me want to run far away from that place.
Voice acting isn't half bad. For this video, I decided to look him up, and it's Roger Clark, the same guy who voices Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. What a drastic change in video game quality. Anyway, so here's the plot, right? Cal Walker from the first game leads a team into Cambodia to find some kind of cargo called White Knight. Apparently the US lost it when a transport plane was shot down by the North Vietnamese. Cal got infected with the White Knight or something, and now he's a zombie. The main character, Nate, is brought to his brother by a dude named Griffin. The idea is that Cal would, become normal at the sight of his brother or something so they can find White Knight. So the area is attacked by Viet Congs and Cal manages to escape. Apparently some special forces VC dude named Trang wants to capture Cal in order to find White Knight. And they want Nate for the same kind of reason. How do they know who Nate is? How do they know Cal was here? Whatever, I guess it doesn't matter. So now Nate and Griffin and some random soldiers you meet along the way have to hunt down Cal. How do they know where he's going? Well, I'm not really sure. But Nate can see through his eyes at randomly convenient times. Why? Who knows? Maybe that's the close brotherly bond. Maybe it's the White Knight, even though Nate's not infected. I don't think the game ever fully explains it. Throughout the game, you are constantly separated from the other characters, and then when it's convenient or plot needs to happen, they'll just reappear. Half the time, it never makes sense. There's a moment where Griffin sees an RPG incoming somehow and jumps out of the truck, and Nate reacts a full century later. Sounds like a good time to separate, I suppose. One time they're on a boat. 1 minute, everything's fine. Then Nate wakes up to a boat on fire, and the other two are running off. What happened? Then Nate is saved by some USO chick, and she dies like 15 minutes later. And I guess she really stuck in his mind because he hallucinates her later? I don't know. Trang, that Viet Cong guy tracking you down the whole time? Yeah, he dies by your hands in the most unsatisfying way. This special forces character, you'd think we would have like a huge boss battle, but nope. Anyway, Nate finds Cal somehow. I really don't remember. White Knight's apparently a dude who like manufactured the virus to use as a weapon or something, and he heals Cal. He has a cure, but like didn't write it down or something. Cal wants him dead, and you have to decide whether to save Cal or White Knight. And it's so stupid. Why shoehorn this decision? Why can't Nate just shoot Cal in the leg and drag them both to the helicopter? What's the point? I don't know. Who cares? I'm not going to think about it a whole lot. Let's just check out the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty basic. It's not good, not bad, just mediocre. The guns have like no punch to them. There's no powerful sounds. There's not really any recoil. The issues rely more in the gameplay loop. There's an obvious pattern. Walk A to B, killing enemies. Haunted house walkthrough, some spooky moments. Stay in a spot for 5 minutes, killing waves of enemies. Rinse and repeat. Somehow this game makes a Call of Duty campaign seem more diverse and captivating. Now that was mainly a joke, but for real, Call of Duty 1 had a lot of amazing set pieces that weren't often repeated. It made use of historical battles to change up gameplay. Blood Trails did something like that with the plantation house, which is honestly the best part of the whole game. Not saying it was perfect, but it was better than everything else. The game only took me about 3 hours and 15 minutes to beat, and I remember more about that house than anything else. There was even a boss battle, an enemy that wouldn't look out of place in a You Are Empty type of game. Too bad he's repeated 2 more times. He's even the final boss. The game was short, but it was so bad and boring that it felt like 6. It's a shame, too, because there's some parts of this game that look really, really good. The graphics don't look half bad at all. The premise is good. The idea's neat. It just wasn't well executed. It probably was rushed. Chat pretty much uncovered that this was a budget release, so I don't think there was a lot of money going to production value. It's definitely not as bad as the typical ValueSoft joint, but not good enough that I'd recommend seeking it out for yourself. I did get it cheap off eBay, and I don't have any kind of buyer's remorse or anything. My whole goal is to archive as many computer games as I can, even the bad ones. I bought it for the sole purpose of streaming it, and I'm not disappointed. Friday streams are reserved for this kind of trash. You can catch me on Twitch by following the link in the description below. It's the same name as the YouTube channel, CD-ROM Fossil. I stream bad, obscure, or budget games on Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I usually play a game I enjoy and kind of want to play through on Saturday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And Sundays is boring day, as I play strategy games or simulators, but it's also at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyway, now I feel the need to get a physical copy of NAM 67, so maybe I'll do that soon. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this, just me recounting a game I played on stream. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to throw this game into a filing cabinet and pretend it doesn't exist.